Hey YouTube, Coffee Dude 65. Doing a little video, obviously. But I was inspired because I'm not sure how Facebook algorithms work, but it's kind of scary. I get all this ads on there, and it's like it's reading my mind. I guess I know it's based on my search history, I suppose, the cookies and whatnot, but it's kind of creepy. But anyway, I've been getting these ads recently that you can buy Bugout bags, right? And it's got all the stuff, you know, in there: shovel, axe, knife, first aid kit, all this prepper stuff, right? And I actually looked at it. I took the link, and now since I took the ad, linked me to the page, now I'm getting more ads. But it got me thinking, okay, I'm not a prepper. I've never been a prepper, perhaps. I mean, I stock up a little bit on vegetables and a few little things in the store when I can. Extra toilet paper. But I'm not necessarily a doomsday prepper or whatever, right? But I have all this shit that I've collected over the years, especially when I was a kid, teenager, even young adult. I used to be pretty big on going to the woods, hunting, fishing, mostly fishing. I got to the point where I enjoyed hunting, especially with my dad when I was younger, but we never really wanted to eat much that we would take, so therefore we didn't take anything, you know. We didn't want to kill things just to kill them, and so often we just would go out and shoot in the woods. Plus, I've been meaning to make the other videos I talked about briefly about some of my history and where I used to live. And I used to live on the edge of town where we had a backyard. It was all connected, no fences, except for the fence that separated the backyard from this little small wooded area we called the creek. There's a creek that ran through it, and woods on both sides of the creek, and it was a great place to grow up. And there was a couple places where you could fish, catch, you know, bluegill, goggle eye, or rock bass, mostly. And once in a while I would catch some and clean them and have my mom fry them up. A lot of times I'd catch them and turn them back, but lots of snakes. I would shoot snakes with my pellet gun. All this. So I kind of grew up, even though I was born in a city. We moved to a rural area when I was around 6, and growing up I was quite the woodsman. Nowadays I don't get to the woods very often. I wish I could. But so I've collected this stuff over the years, you know. Birthday presents, so on. And some of it were kind of around, you know, the idea of things you could use when you're on the creek and so on, or in the woods. And so I decided, based on these Facebook ads, that I would make me a Bugout bag. I ain't gonna buy no shit. Not the Bugout bag. I got enough stuff. I can put one together. I started putting one together. And I don't believe that I'm going to bug out. You know, I don't believe that. I believe things are bad. And I believe things are probably going to get worse. You know? But I don't really see where everything's going to fall, where we're going to be living like Walking Dead. But another thing is, all my life I have been fascinated by movies like Omega Man and even Planet of the Apes, you know, where our Western civilization is in ruins and tatters, and people must survive. Mad Max is a good example as well. You know, movies like that. So I've long been obsessed with the apocalypse. And I'm not saying that I believe it's coming, but for lack of something to do, I decided to put together a little bag. I've got some spare backpacks I haven't ever used for anything, so I'm going to assemble me a little Bugout bag, and that's what I'm kind of doing. I'll have to buy a couple of things, but I got one thing is a hand crank radio flashlight deal, and it works. I got it out this morning, man. I haven't looked at it for years, but I got it out. And I crank on it a little bit, and I get light and radio. And I don't think I would ever come to the point where I would have to leave. But it's something that I think we all should think about. What would happen if it does? Things get worse. The economy does crash. With the Ukraine situation, and I can't tell, you know, what's going on there with Ukraine, but what scares me about Ukraine is how Biden is reacting, and he's rattling sabers worse than damn Putin. And it was pointed out to me by a friend of mine, online friend, that lives in the Czech Republic, that the forces that are gathered over there really are a very small percentage of the Russian force. Now over here in America, they're telling us, oh, it's a mass gathering. But I have it on very good information that it may be not as bad as we're being told in America. But you got Biden up there going, oh my God, we got to prepare the economy. This could just really hurt our economy if they invade Ukraine. And our goddamn economy is hurt enough, man. Come on. You know, you don't need to scare everybody worse than we're already scared. We've been scared for over 2 years now with COVID and insurrections and political turmoil. So anyway, I'm making a Bugout bag, and I don't think I'll bug out. I'll have to stay at home, because as long as my mother is still alive, I have to stay there and protect if something happens, which I have the means of which to do should I need to. And I'm not turning into full-fledged prepper or anything, but I am thinking about, you know, what would I do if things really got bad? And we did become an apocalyptic situation where the stores were gone and gasoline was gone. Mad Max, you know. You know, that's one thing about movies, especially to use Walking Dead as the example. I lost interest in The Walking Dead after the Whisperers came. But it was really a pretty good show, especially in the early days when they were in the RV and they were going from place to place. And I think they really missed the boat on that show, because they could have made it like the A-Team almost, where they just travel every episode and come to a different situation. But they ended up going to the prison and the governor and all that. And then they repeated it all with Negan, and it just was rinse, repeat, do again, you know. But in the beginning, where they're out scavenging, looking for canned goods, looking for water, looking for this and that, is fascinating to me. And I'm playing this video game that you're seeing now. It's called 7 Days to Die. And that's what you do. You live in the zombie apocalypse, and you have to scavenge. But I think I'm not really in physical shape enough to be a survivor, you know. I have some skills in the woods, but they are limited, and I don't know if I would survive. But anyway, I'm not becoming a prepper, but I am sort of putting together a bag. and trying to decide where it is I would go. I have a few places in mind in my area. One is where I used to live. You got water source there, and you've got small game. Another is a huge area outside of town that is like a conservation center, but in some of the places out there, there are some buildings and there are some ruins, but really no water that I can remember. But anyway, I gotta buy a few things. I had a camping set. I don't know what happened to it, but something to boil water and a little bit of some first aid. Oh, doggy. First aid. Some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, band-aids, maybe some gauze. Oh, they're pulling out right fucking now. Anyway, that's what I'm doing, and that's all for now. So, Coffee Dude 65, talk to you later. Peace.